One of the fundamental parts of any project is working with your director, getting inside their head and finding a way to tell their story with your music. Working with Billy on this was a lot of fun because we were pretty much on the same wavelength throughout when it came to discussing where music could go, what the kind of vibe of the music should be in certain scenes, and he gave me a lot of creative freedom to just kind of try stuff, and I was really grateful for that. Once I'd been sent the completed unscored episodes, Billy would then send me a Word document detailing individual timestamps where the music could go, certain influences he'd like to try, and sort of general vibes throughout the episode. This is often known as a spotting session, where the director and the composer will sit down with the project, discuss where the music could go, where there should be silence, etc. But due to the pandemic and the fact that Billy works in television, meetings weren't always possible. So having these documents with their timestamps were incredibly helpful for me when I felt like I was losing my way, or perhaps I wasn't sure how to end a scene. I could then just jump onto another scene and find where I could write from there, and then work my way backwards to then link that music together. So these documents detailing where the music should go were vital to making Dark Dimension what it is now. And I've been writing music for projects for about 2 years or so, and I found getting in very, very early with my own ideas and with demos and suggestions to be the best way forward in terms of collaboration. Research-wise, I've been listening to the music of the show for about 13 years or so. I've been a fan since I was very young, so the brash tones of Dudley Simpson or the synth stylings of Malcolm Clarke or Dominic Glynn or Paddy Kingsland were already in my mind when I approached how each Doctor was going to sound. I narrowed it down to certain instruments that would suit each Doctor. I found that a vibraphone worked pretty well for the fourth Doctor, paired with a ride and splash cymbal on the drum kit, gave a very Simpson-esque sound.
The capital.
Where's the Doctor?
He was right with us. I was holding on to him.
Not tightly enough.
Doctor?
Yes?
You're alright?
Of course I'm alright. That chap with the pleasant open face hit the nail on the head. My temporal state in this dimension has been given a stay of execution.
So what do we do now?
Simple. We investigate. Lead on, Summerfield.
For when the fifth Doctor shows up, I had played around with one of the themes from Castrovalva initially, but felt like I wanted to step away from constantly referencing other material, so I settled on a descending synth line paired with the ride cymbal again.
Assessment non-lethal. Probable distraction. Explain.
Hello there.
The Doctor.
How's that?
Database confirms. It is the fair-haired Doctor from the Earth Freighter.
I've brought some friends along.
It felt sprightly and warm, much like the fifth Doctor himself. And I cannot go on without mentioning the Ron Grainer signature tune. So glad that I finally got to use it, as it's such a big staple of the classic series, that little motif being used in various stories, so I had to try and get it in there the best I possibly could. Then we cut immediately to some dissonant Earthshock style music before wrapping up with that all too familiar Cyberman clang.
Destroy them! Destroy them
When Billy pitched me the first couple of scenes when I was writing for the demo, one of them was a firefight with Cybermen, as you heard last week. And I love the score from Earthshock. I think Malcolm Clarke's tune for the Cybermen is the best thing. It's just the best thing. I think it's one of the best tunes that Doctor Who has ever produced. And I had to kind of rein myself in sometimes of how heavy I could go when using it, because I just love that tune so much.
Cybermen!
Eradicate them!
Fire!
Wait! And that!
Retreat!
Get the array fired up, now!
Six is on trial, so I wanted to try and find a way of mixing some elements from Dominic Glynn's work on Trial of the Time Lord and some more Gallifreyan-oriented thematic material. I eventually settled on a big theatre organ and some thundering drums. I looked at the music for the Invasion of Time for some inspiration too, to create a fanfare as the High Council emerges.
I've seen them in the TARDIS. The Professor uses them to prop doors open. I think we're on Gallifrey.
The High Council is now in session. Assembled jurors will move to the courtroom.
Way back when I was writing music just from the script, I made a music diary detailing different themes that I thought I could use later. One of them was for the Ice Warriors, which sounded like this. But once I got the notes back from Billy for that specific episode, he said he wanted a more Seeds of Death style sound, so I went back to what Dudley Simpson was doing and kind of worked with that. I wouldn't exactly call it a direct recreation, but you can hear elements of my tune and elements of what Dudley was trying to create at the time.
And so I call the defendants.
I must protest. The methods of this court are unorthodox in the extreme. Is this what you define as justice?
Your comments are noted, Grand Marshal Aslix. Doctor, please continue.
There's one element I didn't mention in the last episode because I didn't write it, and I wanted episode 1 to just be about the music I had written, and that's the leitmotif for Ace. Now, a couple of people noticed it in the live chat when episode 1 went out, but I thought I'd explain it here. In the final episode of the classic series in 1989, the 7th Doctor and Ace walk off into the presumed season 27, which, of course, never happened. But we hear this little tune. I was thinking about Ace's relationship with the Doctor. I was thinking about how the music might have been approached in the 1990s if this had actually gone ahead. I felt like this was the best tune to use for Ace throughout the entire story.
Who's there? I'm armed and I will use deadly force if necessary.
All right, keep your hair on.
Drop the canister! I will utilise deadly force.
Why? I just saved your life.
Identify yourself.
Call me Ace. I'm looking for the Doctor. Now put the gun down, or this next can of Nitro 9 is getting lodged up your nose.
I beg to differ.
You tell him, Professor.
Court is in session. Silence.
Ace?
You know the girl?
I believe I will, milady. May I ask that the court is adjourned?
Out of the question.
Listen out for it. It's going to be there. And it's probably my favourite instance of referencing classic material. I think it works perfectly. Music aside, I'm thinking of doing a Q&A after I release episode 4 of this. So if you have any questions regarding the music that I had written, or perhaps just Doctor Who itself, I'd love to answer some questions. Thank you so much again for watching and for listening to Dark Dimension. I'll put a link to the PharosFeatures YouTube channel in the description so that you can listen to part 2. And go back and listen to part 1 again to catch up. Episode 3 is coming. It's coming next week, so get excited. Thanks again. I hope you're all doing okay, and take care. So long for now.